Welcome back everyone, this is J7Js bringing you a quick overview and guide on every single generic job in Final Fantasy Tactics, from how to unlock them, which abilities are best to learn, and other tips. Just note that requirements and JP costs are slightly higher in the War of the Lions remaster. If you are interested in a guide for all the unique characters and best job builds, please check out the link below in the description and comments. To start off, we're beginning with the default Squire. They aren't too special overall with their stats, but before moving on from this job, I definitely recommend learning JP Boost and Move Plus 1 the most, and if you really want, Focus. JP Boost increases the amount of JP you earn per action by 50%, which can save you a lot of time, so it's a nice investment. Move Plus 1 is also solid as it will make you more mobile, and Focus is great as it will increase your PA by 1 in battle to a maximum of 99. It's great for physical attack characters, or if you want a fast and easy action to help you gain XP, JP, or to help you level things up like Mimes. Overall, it's a nice starter, but stick to other things once they become available to you. Sure, if you're lucky, you can do some nice damage with a Vesper or Golden Axe, but there are just much better things in the game. The only other starter job along with the Squire is the Chemist. Their stats are also poor, but to me they are a lot more useful as they have passive throw items, meaning you can equip another support ability, and later into the game, guns can be quite useful. Just equip attack boost for regular guns, and for magic guns, equip arcane strength, an elemental boosting accessory, and increase your faith to increase your damage with these guns. Items is one of the best job abilities in the game as well, and it's my most recommended secondary. Just learn each type of potion as you progress through the game, as enemies will hit harder. Remedy to cure most negative status ailments, and Phoenix Down to reliably revive allies and to KO undead. I also suggest Auto Potion as it's one of the best reaction abilities in the game. Just make sure you have potions in your inventory and use the stronger ones, and learn Treasure Hunter to get those rare one-of-a-kind items in the game. Lastly, Safeguard is great against those pesky thieves, knights, and it even protects you against Divine Knight abilities. GG no re Malidal. Even though Chemists are a default starter, their abilities are just good and can be thrown into any party setup. Just don't get in too many levels as one, as their stats are just poor. Next, the Knight and the Archer. Both are unlocked by having a level 2 Squire. The Knight has good PA and HP growth rates, and their Arts of War is great at rending enemy stats, or if you want to try and go for a YOLO rend weapon. Its success rate is highly dependent on your PA and power of your weapon though, so you'll see better results later on into the game once you level up and have better weapons. But in most cases, I just recommend physically attacking with them in usual battles, and to use them over Squires, especially in Chapter 1. I recommend learning Rend speed and power first for their abilities, and to increase their mobility with things like Battle Boots and Move Plus 1. They tend to fall off a bit in chapters 2 and 3, but later on into chapter 4, give them Knight Swords while having high bravery, and you will see fantastic damage and other passive benefits to wielding these ultimate weapons. An overall good physical damage dealer, especially in the post game. The Archer is nothing like the Archer from Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together. They are pretty decent once you get the first longbow, however their damage quickly falls off and their job command aim is practically worthless. Concentration is an underrated support ability though, as it works around evasion and is useful against character evasion, class evasion, shields, and cloaks, but it's pretty much their only worthwhile ability. I'm aware you can do some cheeky stuff with Adrenaline Rush, but at 900 JP, there are just better things. Only become an Archer if you need it at a certain job level to unlock another more useful job. They look cool, but this isn't a fashion show. Now for the iconic white and black mages, or if you're a true FFT veteran, Priest and Wizard. To unlock both of these jobs, you need a level 2 Chemist, and I also recommend a higher Fate stat while being these jobs. Even though unlocked early, the Black Mage still holds up very well in the late game due to the MA multiplier, meaning you get more magic attack while in this job. I recommend learning the Thunder spells first, as most enemies are immune to lightning or have a damage reduction against it. Then eventually pick up Arcane Strength and Flare. Just make sure to check the turn order and to have enough MP, or like my man Benjamin Bomberry says, use Chakra to restore both HP and MP. Forget the ethers from Chemists. Overall, just a fantastic job at all points in the game, and some fantastic secondaries are other magic like Summon, White Magic, and things like Iaido and Arithmetics are all just wonderful. For these reasons, black mages are never a bad choice. Now, white mages can be a great healer and reliable, as they have a slightly higher speed stat than most other jobs. Just make sure everyone has a good faith stat and either good compatibility with each other for best results with healing and reviving with rays. Even though they aren't that offensive, don't forget that their healing spells can damage zombie targets, and Holy packs a punch on nearly all enemies besides a few demons. I recommend learning the Cure spells and Holy most. Overall, it's a nice job class if you love something that is pretty fast and can heal for big. To unlock a Monk, it's slightly different in both versions of Final Fantasy Tactics. In the PS1, you need a level 2 knight, and in War of the Lions, you need a level 3 knight. Just make sure you have higher bravery to do more damage with your fists and to increase their base move. I recommend learning Aura Blast, Chakra, Purification, and Shockwave first. Even though they can't equip things like hats and helmets, their well-rounded stats and versatility just make them so great. Now for the Time Mage. For my PS1 players, you need to be a level 2 wizard, and for my War of the Lions players, you will need a level 3 black mage to unlock the Time Mage. They are just so wonderful throughout most of the game with their most basic spell, Haste. However, don't sleep on things like Slow and Immobilize. I recommend learning Haste first and then Slow. And later, learn Mana Shield, as combined with Mana Font, you're nearly invincible, and to learn Teleport, as it's just a wonderful movement ability and it's very useful on any map with some sort of elevation. It's like a must for places like Midlight's Deep. If you want to be more offensive, give them things like Arithmetics or Iaido. Or if you want them to help allies, White Magic is more than good enough. Summoners can deal devastating damage by calling upon Espers. Just make sure you have a good Faith stat. To unlock them, you need a level 2 Time Mage on the PS1, and in War of the Lions, a level 3 Time Mage. Unlike other magic users, you don't have to worry about their abilities harming your allies or benefiting your enemies, so feel free to cast in a large radius. They tend to be slower than other classes, and I still prefer other magic users, but definitely if you want to use them, start out with Ramuh and later move onto things like Bahamut and Odin. Swiftness from the Time Mage to reduce cast times is also wonderful on them too. To fully master this job, you need to learn Zodiark, which you can only learn from Elidibus in the final floor on Midlight's Deep in a one-time fight where your character must be in the summoner job and also survive this attack. I recommend high bravery and mana shield for this, and an accessory that makes you immune to toad status. For PSP players, I'm aware you have another chance to learn this in the Rendezvous Mission Brave story, but this is just a much harder fight and not everyone can easily do this. Overall, the summoner is great early, but they are just too slow for my taste later on into the game. Thieves are wonderful for their abilities and higher than normal speed. To unlock this job on the PS1, you need a level 2 archer, and in War of the Lions, you need a level 3 archer. I don't recommend using Thief for damage or even stealing once you learn their abilities, as a monk with attack boost will have a higher steal percentage, but if you're a completionist or want stronger items, definitely learn all of your steal equipment abilities, sticky fingers to catch the best weapons from ninjas, and move +2. In short, the Thief is a wonderful job that has many useful abilities, but I don't recommend staying as one permanently. The Mystic or Oracle is virtually the not as good Beowulf, but they have nice and overlooked abilities. To unlock this job on the PS1 version, you need a level 2 Priest, and in War of the Lions, you need a level 3 White Mage. I find their Invigoration or Drain spell very deadly and great versus Lucavi, as it will deal 25% of their max HP. Just don't use it versus undead, as it will heal them and harm you though. I find their negative status ailment spells a bit slower, but I recommend picking up Defense Boost, as this one is one of the only ways to raise your defense to physical attacks, and to learn Mana Font as combined with Mana Shield. At high bravery, you're nearly invincible. You can also give them double hand with a pole and stack magic attack to do wonderful melee damage. Overall, Oracles and Mystics aren't the best, but they are very underrated. If you want a higher MA character though, stick to other mages. To unlock Orators or Mediators, this will require a level 2 Oracle in the PS1 version and level 3 Mystic in War of the Lions. They have a passive Beast Tongue, meaning you can use their skills on monsters. Just remember to equip Beast Tongue if you want to use Speechcraft as a secondary on other jobs though. I don't really like using their Speechcraft abilities as their hit chance is largely based on your MA, which they also lack. But they are useful as their Preach ability can increase faith and Enlighten can lower faith, and these are the only abilities in the game that can do this, so I recommend learning these. They can also equip guns, which pack a punch. Just as usual, put on attack boost when using regular guns, and for magic guns, increase their faith, and equip something like a black robe to boost their elemental damage. Overall, an overlooked job, but nothing too bad or amazing. Now for Geomancer. To unlock this on the PS1, you need a level 3 monk, and in War of the Lions, you need a level 4 monk. Their stats are pretty good in all areas, and they can equip a variety of equipment, and to deal more damage with their Geomancy, equip things that will increase your MA, PA, as well as elemental boosting accessories and arcane strength. They can do pretty good damage with their regular attacks as well. For their abilities, I recommend eventually learning everything as they are cheap, but I found Tanglevine, Contortion, and Roll-o'-the-Wisp to be the most accessible on most stages. Lastly, Attack Boost is a wonderful support ability, increasing the damage of most physical attacks by 33%. The Geomancer is just an all-around and good choice. Dragoons have good PA, HP, and can deal solid damage from a distance with jump. Just make sure to target units with a lower CT for better results. In the PS1 version, you need a level 3 Thief to unlock the Lancer, and in War of the Lions, you need a level 4 Thief. I advise you to take advantage of their weapons, the polearms. Attack monsters more than one tile away so they can't counter you, and to have a spear equipped as you will deal more damage with their ability Jump. And if you're patient, you can learn Jump Horizontal or Vertical 8 by saving up on JP, which is essentially learning all the other jump skills, but learning them gradually isn't a bad choice too. I just wish the Dragoon had a higher speed stat, so I usually just end up learning Equip Polearms and putting Jump on a much faster job, but Dragoons are still solid heavy hitters. Samurai have some amazing abilities, however, their stats aren't that good besides their physical attack. To unlock it in the PS1 version, you will need a level 3 Knight, level 4 Monk, and level 2 Lancer. In War of the Lions, you need a level 4 Knight, level 5 Monk, and level 2 Dragoon. Just like with Knight Swords and Unarmed, Katana damage is largely based on our own bravery and PA, so increase it to deal more damage. My only issue with the Samurai is that their Iaido or draw out damage is based on how high your MA stat is, and for some of their strongest skills, you will need multiple katanas just in case they break while using these abilities. However, I do recommend learning Shida Hadori or Blade Grasp as it blocks many regular physical attacks. Just have high bravery. Overall, the Samurai have nice abilities, but just use it as a secondary on things with solid MA and make sure you have a good amount of katanas in your inventory, and pick up Shida Hadori to make many battles easier. If you love something strong, fast, and mobile, ninjas are the best job for this. On the PS1, you need to be a level 3 Archer, level 4 Thief, and level 2 Geomancer. In War of the Lions, you need a level 4 Archer, level 5 Thief, and level 2 Geomancer. This is a wonderful job because they have 4 base move, jump, solid PA, the highest speed, and have dual wield as a passive ability. They only really lack HP. I don't really like to use throw all that much, but it's nice for finishing off enemies, and its range is based on your move stat. I like waiting and just closing in though. Learning dual wield is great for other jobs, and reflexes is another pretty strong reaction ability. Just make sure you have a Featherweave Cloak equipped. It's just a wonderful and awesome job to use in Final Fantasy Tactics. The Arithmetician or Calculator is oftentimes considered to be the most overpowered job in the game because they can cast nearly all magic for free, instantly, and target all enemies. But this isn't necessarily true. People get this confused all the time. They have poor stats and bad speed. It's their abilities on other jobs which make it overpowered. To unlock this job on the PS1, you need a level 4 Priest, level 4 Wizard, level 3 Oracle, and a level 3 Time Mage. In War of the Lions, it requires a level 5 White Mage, level 5 Black Mage, level 4 Mystic, and a level 4 Time Mage. Some of their best abilities are CT and multiples of 3, 4, and 5. And Soulbind is such an underrated reaction ability too. Just make sure you have magic that can be used with Arithmetics. For best results, learn these abilities, use Holy with Chameleon Robes, have high faith, and just use arithmetics on better jobs with better MA. Similar to the Samurai, that their abilities are fantastic, but not that great of a primary job. Now this job is only for males. The Bard. It has terrible stats for the most part besides MA, and its abilities are just so slow, and swiftness doesn't decrease it. In the PS1, you can unlock it by having a level 4 Summoner and Mediator. In War of the Lions, you need a level 5 Summoner and level 5 Orator. I mostly use them for the Degenerator Trap and to learn the best movement ability in the game, Move Plus 3. Overall, it's just not great. Don't level up too many times as this job, just learn Move Plus 3 and get out. Time for the job exclusive to females, the Dancer. I still don't think they are that great, but they are better than Bards, I feel. Their stats aren't too spectacular, although their PA is decent, and their unique weapon cloths pair well with the reaction ability Parry. However, their best abilities in my opinion are Slow Dance, Polka, and Forbidden Dance. Just pray for good RNG. I still prefer a consistent damage dealer like a ninja, but when Dance lands, it can be quite deadly. Definitely give one a shot for another way to play the game, but I wouldn't use one in harder fights. Last but not least, the Mime. It can copy most actions from your allies. On the PS1, you will need a level 8 Squire and level 8 Chemist, level 4 Summoner, level 4 Mediator, level 4 Lancer, and level 4 Geomancer. In War of the Lions, it requires a level 8 Squire, level 8 Chemist, level 5 Summoner, level 5 Orator, level 5 Dragoon, and level 5 Geomancer. They have several passive abilities, great stat growth in nearly all areas, but sadly they can't equip any items or abilities, and it can be hard to copy and land attacks with them. Overall, I don't really recommend them for use in battles unless you want to mess around or to gain better stats when leveling up. These last two jobs are exclusive to War of the Lions only, the Onion and Dark Knight. I'll go over the Onion Knight first. While they look cool and their unique equipment is very strong, they just aren't great at all, and I'll give my reasons shortly. To unlock it, you need a level 6 Squire and level 6 Chemist. Even though they can equip all items, they can't equip any kind of abilities, meaning they can only physically attack, and you also can't gain any experience points to level up, unless you have a character with Beastmaster and a Wild Boar with Bequeathed Bacon. However, this will kill the poor pig in the process. The Onion Knight's starting stats are also bad unless you master many job classes, so they can reach job level 8. Just note that every 2 jobs mastered will increase your level, but mastering jobs like Squire, Chemist, Mime, or Dark Knight won't boost the job level of an Onion Knight. Even though you can gain fantastic stat growth with Wild Boars and Bequeathed Bacon, it just isn't worth it. Only use onions to have fun. Finally, the Dark Knight. They have some of the best offensive abilities in the game, amazing physical attack, and it's the only way for female characters to learn Move Plus 3. To unlock this, you will need Knight and Black Mage Mastered, a level 8 Samurai, Geomancer, Ninja, and Dragoon. And you also need 20 kills with said character, meaning your unit needs to land a killing blow and allow the target to crystallize or turn into a treasure chest. It's a long grind, and I still wish their other stats like speed and move were slightly better, but they're just so fun and look cool. Their best abilities are Sanguine Sword and Crushing Blow by far, and if you're a female, pick up Move Plus 3. Vehemence also isn't bad, but it makes you a glass cannon. They can equip the unique Fill Swords, but just use Night Swords as they are better in every way, as they give wonderful perks, and you can pair them with the shield. Overall, the Dark Knight can be a pain to unlock, but it is a very strong job that can handle itself in nearly all fights. Just make sure you equip them with a Night Sword, increase their bravery, and don't use Sanguine Sword on those undead enemies, and you should be good to go. That's it for my video on how to unlock every single job in Final Fantasy Tactics and some tips on how to use them more effectively, as well as which abilities to learn. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and check out my build videos and unique characters video guide for even more specific information. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time with more FFT videos. Take care.